Live now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'll call this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment for the Township of Calvin-Monaghan to order. First, I'll ask for any pecuniary interests or conflicts of interest to disclose from other members. None indicated. Next item is to approve the minutes of the previous meeting, which was April 16th, 2021. Are there any comments or questions or corrections for those minutes from the members?
No.
No, none.
All right, then I'd ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
Okay.
I'll
Seconder?
second the motion.
Thank you. So Dave and then Aaron. All in favor? Minutes are accepted and approved. Thank you. So now we'll move on to the business of this morning, which is a new application for a minor variance number 2021-25, or that's the number of the planning report. The application is MV0421 from Justin Smith. And I'll pass it over to Christina.
Good morning. Thank you, committee members, and those of you joining us for our online public meeting. This is the public meeting for minor variance application MV04-21, and the committee has before them planning report number 2021-25. The application applies to lands located at 2021 Howden Quarter Line, as shown on attachment number 1 to this report. The application was applied for by Justin Smith and was received by the township on March 4th, 2021. However, at the request of the applicant, the application was placed on hold in order to secure a consultant to undertake a natural heritage evaluation. The subject property is an existing lot of record developed with a single detached dwelling and attached garage. The lot has 100 feet of frontage on Howden Quarter Line, has a depth of 175 feet, and a total lot area of 0.4 acres. The owners of the property wish to demolish the existing attached garage, which is 406 square feet, and construct a 988 square foot attached garage with additional living space in its place. The owners are also proposing to construct a retaining wall along the south side of the property. The building concept and floor plans are provided as attachment number 4 to this report. At this point, I would like to note for the public and the committee that the public meeting notice indicated the size of the proposed addition would be 936 square feet. That calculation was based on the dimensions provided on page 4 of the application. However, the application sketch and confirmation from the applicant indicated that the proposed addition will be 988 square feet. So the difference was it was always 26 feet wide. They had originally said it would be 36 feet this way, but they are proposing it to be 38 feet. In either case, the encroachment towards the southern lot line will not change the minimum front yard will not change the encroachment, and the minimum front yard setback will continue to be maintained. The property is zoned rural residential, which permits a single detached dwelling. In the rural residential zone, the township zoning bylaw requires a minimum interior side yard of 6 meters or 19.69 feet. The proposed retaining wall will comply with section 11.41.1 subsection E of the bylaw pertaining to yard encroachments and obstructions, and is not subject to the minor variance application. However, the attached garage and living space addition will be located too close to the southern lot line to comply with the minimum side yard requirement. The variance is required to reduce the minimum southern side yard requirement in the rural residential zone as it applies to the subject property from 6 meters or 19.69 feet to 3 meters or 9.8 feet. Notice of the application was circulated by first-class prepaid mail to all assessed persons within 60 meters of the subject lands, to all required ministries and agencies, and to all township department directors. A sign was posted on the subject property, and notice of the public meeting was posted on the township website. The notice complies with the requirements of the Planning Act. Subsequent to the writing of this report, the Planning Department did receive one telephone call from an adjacent landowner. The landowner had questions regarding the location of the proposed addition in relation to their septic system and the septic system on the subject property, to ensuring that the existing hedge, which is located between 2021 and 2007 Howden Quarter Line, it's sort of running here on the air photo, ensuring that that hedge is maintained, and questions regarding grading and drainage. A copy of the planning report outlining the recommended conditions was provided to the landowner, along with instructions to be notified of the committee's decision if they wished. Township staff had no objections to the application. However, the Public Works Department requested that the owner submit a lot grading and drainage plan prior to the issuance of a building permit. Comments from Peterborough Public Health were not received as of the writing of this report. However, staff recommends that the standard Peterborough Public Health condition requiring that the owner applies and is approved for an existing sewage system permit prior to the issuance of a building permit, if required, be included as a condition of the committee's decision. Otonabee Region Conservation Authority comments were not received as of the writing of this report. However, due to the presence of a water course, which is outlined here, and this non-evaluated wetland, as shown on the air photo, ORCA identified the following during pre-consultation with the applicant. A floodplain study is not required. A minimum 30-meter vegetation protection zone is required in order to conform to provincial policy of the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe. A scoped natural heritage evaluation is required to support the minor variance application. A permit from ORCA may be required depending upon the findings of the natural heritage evaluation, and the property is not within an area subject to the Clean Water Act. As presented to you today, Planning Report 2025 or 2021-25 provides an analysis of the proposal and concludes the application satisfies Section 45 of the Planning Act, which outlines the 4 tests the application must have regard to in order for the committee to authorize a minor variance from the provisions of the bylaw. Report 2021-25 recommends that the Committee of Adjustment review and consider all verbal and written comments received regarding this application, that the committee approve application MV-04-21 with the following conditions. A, that the owner provide a natural heritage evaluation acceptable to the township and ORCA prior to the issuance of the building permit. B, that the owner applies and is approved for an existing sewage system permit prior to the issuance of a building permit if required. And C, that the owner submits a lot grading and drainage plan prior to the issuance of a building permit. With that, I'll turn the application back to Chairman Semple for any questions from the committee and the public.
Thank you very much, Christina. Any questions from members of the committee?
Did the person to the south of the property actually get back to you with regard to their plans?
Yeah, so we spoke on the phone and I indicated to them verbally the conditions that we've recommended for this, if this application is approved. I also indicated that they could participate in the meeting if they liked, and the individual indicated that the response and the conditions that have been recommended was enough to satisfy their concerns.
The other question I had was regarding the hedge that you showed in the picture. Will the retaining wall potentially damage that? hedges. I mean, I guess the concern is the privacy aspect, and now the garage can be much closer to the property line.
Yeah, so in speaking with the applicant, their intention is not to remove the hedge. They will be doing some trimming on their side of the property. If I did indicate to the landowner at 2007 that I asked if it was on one property or the other. Apparently the hedge runs right down the property line. Sometimes it's on one side and sometimes it's on the other. So it would be between the two landowners that if the hedge is damaged, that it could be replaced.
Any other
You're okay with
questions?
that?
Any other questions? Sorry. Aaron?
None.
I had the question, Christina, if I understood correctly, the retaining wall itself is not subject to the side lot restrictions.
That's correct. So there's a separate section in the zoning bylaw that excludes retaining walls, basically a number of landscaping items from being subject to yard encroachment. So as long as it's on their property, it's not subject to the same side yard setback that a building would be.
So conceivably, they could put a retaining wall right up the line as long as it's completely on their property.
They could. In this case, they're not proposing to put it right down. There's still going to be a little bit of a space between the retaining wall and the property line.
Okay. All right, thank you. That was the only question I had. If there are no other questions, then I would ask for a motion to approve or not approve. Do we have a motion?
For you, Chairman Simple, should we just double check if there's comments from the public?
Right, yes. Are there any members of the public in on this meeting this morning?
The applicant is in attendance.
Oh, okay. Does the applicant have any questions or comments at this point? Would appear not. All right. Then I'll go back to asking for a motion.
Yeah, I'll motion to approve the minor variance with the 3 conditions contained in the report.
Second?
I will.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Thank you. The application is approved. And
For you, Chairman, I do see that Mr. Smith has just raised his hand, so I'm wondering if it may have been a glitch in a delay. Are we comfortable? I appreciate we have already called the vote. Are we comfortable to allow Mr. Smith to speak?
Absolutely, yes.
I'll promote him.
All right, Mr. Smith, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Sorry about that. I
That's
couldn't
okay.
get that sorted out. I my first Zoom meeting. So just in regards to what Christina mentioned about the septic, the existing sewer system. Now I did get approval from the Peterborough Public Health, and sorry, Christina, I did forget to forward you that, so I can do that as soon as the meeting is over. I can forward you that signed permit or allowance for use of the existing septic.
All right, thank you, Justin. Actually, we have approved your application already, so
Okay. Okay, sorry.
You're good to go, but yes, follow up with that as well, because there are some conditions to the application.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Great. Very much.
Thank you very much. All right. That having concluded our business this morning, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Dave?
I'll second it first.
All right, then thank you very much. We are adjourned.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Have
Thank
a
you,
good long
everyone.
weekend.
Yeah, same to you.
Avoid those
Bye.
mosquitoes.